A very small percentage of people work really hard for long periods of time. They should not be your standard of success. Everyone wants to get stuff done and they all have different ways to do it, but in the end, it all boils down to this. Welcome to ALUX. The problem with hustle culture. Watch any type of motivational content and you'll be left with a feeling of immense urgency. Do it now, go hard, don't look back. Everything is important and time is limited, so it's now or never. It's a fake pressure to outwork everybody. Do more and build your empire. And while it has its merits for short bursts, in the long run it usually leads to burnout and delusion. The problem with hustle culture is it has big diminishing returns. It's unsustainable. There's no way you can work 60+ hours a week and still be a sane individual. Those who do it have no other choice. They live in extreme environments where the only way out is a hard grind. Respect to them, but that's not the case for most people. There are also people who believe the only way to create value is long hours, like the case of Marissa Mayer. Before she became the CEO of Yahoo, she was Google's 20th employee. In an interview with Bloomberg, she noted it's possible to work 130 hours a week if you're strategic about when you sleep, when you shower, and how often you go to the bathroom. Interesting trade-off. Young people pretend to love the daily grind. Maybe it's the media pushing the young hustler persona, the go-getter. The truth is, though, the world is moving really fast and you need to keep up. But like we said in the title, if you want to move fast, you need to go slow. We noticed something really interesting lately. Productivity has lost its meaning. This is arguably the first ever recorded to-do list. It's Benjamin Franklin's take on a productive day, and it starts with an interesting question. What good shall I do this day? But the idea of productivity didn't really kick in until the Industrial Revolution. By definition, productivity is a performance measurement of output over inputs. In other words, how much work you put in versus how much value you get out of it. In the Industrial Revolution, inputs went down massively because now you have a production line instead of manual labor. Output also skyrocketed because machines don't get tired. But here's the thing, increasing productivity in this era means great innovation and new technologies. It was an incredibly hard thing to do. In December 1931, when Henry Ford installed the first moving assembly line, it reduced the time it took to build a car from 12 hours to 1 hour and 33 minutes. But to get there, he spent years trying to get the thing going and constantly failed. You see, it's way harder to optimize a factory than people, yet we treat personal productivity like it's an easy thing to do, which requires just a few tricks and apps. Today, productivity is a business in itself, and you are the customer. You spend more time talking, writing, and organizing your work than actually doing it. Productivity lost its meaning. It now lies on the individual to be more productive, to do more, to always be on the grind. That's how you end up with crazy working hours and packed days. The only way people know how to be more productive is to work faster so they can do more of it. If we look back at the definition, though, people increase the left side without increasing the right one. What's the answer for this? How can you make more by doing less? Slow productivity and deep work. These are two concepts we recently became familiar with from Carl Newport. He talked about slow productivity in a recent podcast with Tim Ferriss, which we definitely recommend you give a listen. The idea of slow productivity lies in the volume of work one does in a day. It's really easy to get burned out from the meaningless work, especially now since most work from home. People are spending like 6+ hours on Zoom calls. This is something we noticed in our own lives. When the more projects we took on, the more time we spent managing them instead of pushing the wheel forward. The more things you have on your plate, the more you tend to rush them and lose track of what's actually important. Slow productivity means doing this at a sustainable volume, one at a time. Now, we've got a question for you. If you really want to get shit done, how many hours do you think you'll need to put in each week? Pause the video and leave your answer in the comments. We argue that you'd need about 15 to 25. Yeah, that's about it. This is because there are two types of work: progress and maintenance. Progress work moves the wheel forward. Maintenance work checks if the wheel is still there. Progress work is slow and short. Maintenance work can last forever. We mentioned earlier that successful people move really fast, and it might look like we're contradicting ourselves here, but this is where deep work comes in. As Carl Newport puts it, deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It's where those 15 to 25 hours go in. This is where you lock yourself in a room and give yourself time to get bored, come up with ideas, and make actual progress. It's a skill you need to cultivate. Those 14 to 16-hour frantic days you think you need to make it, they're nothing compared to this. We promise you that if you take things slow and implement deep work into your life, you'll find yourself moving faster than you ever have. Now, why does it take 15 to 25 hours? Because considering how we're built as humans, we can focus on one thing for about 3 to 5 hours max a day. Anything more, and you're starting to procrastinate. The challenge. There are two problems with this approach. One, there will always be someone willing to work harder than you. The good news is that there's enough cake for everyone. You're playing your own game. At the very same time, very few people actually do deep work. The second problem is you need good systems to make this happen. Basically, what you're trying to do is going from this to this. And it's harder than it looks. In the current way we're living now, distractions happen every 30 seconds. A new email, a new tweet, you have a meeting in 1 hour, and so on. It's really hard to work on only important stuff if everything appears to be important. You need to figure out what actually pushes you forward and dedicate 3 to 5 hours of deep work just for that. Those people who move really fast, they do deep work slowly on what's important and delegate everything else. That's how you move fast, by going slow. We hope you learned something today, Aluxers, and we're curious to know, did you ever have a full day with nothing to show for it at the end? Tell us your story in the comments. We always love hearing your input. And as a thank you for sticking with us until the end, we have a bonus for you. This time, let's make it a challenge. There's about 2 weeks left of this month. We want you to pick what's important for you and starting Monday, spend a total of 30 hours for 2 weeks doing that deep work. It's the minimum required of the 15 hours a week to get shit done. It can be a new skill, or maybe getting familiar with a new trend or technology. Fun fact, Gary Vee spent 50 hours learning about NFTs and made $91 million because of it. We'll check up on you in 2 weeks from now and see how you guys are doing. If you want to give this thing a go, write challenge accepted in the comments. We'll see in 2 weeks who's done the deep work. Thank you for watching this video, Aluxer. If you found it valuable, consider subscribing to our channel and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this video for you to watch next. Or head over to our website for more amazing content. See you tomorrow.